we haven't put it on the agenda yet, but we're going to ask for a meeting again in January for an update. And they've always been, at least with Chief Redfern, very cordial in honoring that request. So, they've been fairly quiet about what they're doing. I think if I read between the lines of his latest report that he issued, there's some encouraging words there. And so I'm more optimistic than I've been in a long time, certainly with new leadership. The problem with the old leadership, it was the old guard. These people that were in that police department had never investigated a murder. They decided on day one that we were guilty.
And guys, he realizes that. He realizes what a shit job they've done. All right. Burke's alive and so is John. Those two people are still alive. And I mean, just because Burke acted weird in the interviews, which we played the last time, doesn't make him a suspect. But what makes him a suspect is the things that we hear that he did to JonBenet Ramsey, how he was jealous of her. What did someone say? He hit her with a hockey stick. Who knows what else happened in that household between the two?
Literally day one. And that became the conclusion that they tried to fit the evidence to. And of course, they ran into problems because they couldn't fit the evidence.
Right. I should mention as well, just for those who might be dabbling in the case and thinking that they know more than the average Joe, there is unknown male DNA on JonBenet's clothing, multiple different parts of her clothing, not just one piece, multiple different pieces of her clothing have the same unknown male DNA, meaning it's the same DNA from the same person. So that's a critical piece of this, of this mystery. John, have they said to you anything about what new evidence they're referring to and what new interviews they've conducted?
No, they haven't. And of course, that's one of the questions we'll ask is, okay, what new evidence do you have? Did you test the DNA in the latest format that's necessary to do IgG, investigative genetic?
And if they really mess that case up like this from the very beginning, maybe we won't ever get answers if it was an outside person that just knew them and was like, I want to get that money. Are they going to pay for it? But I still don't think that was the motivator, guys. That ransom note and the 118,000 being so specific, I just am not seeing any of that as being, I feel like none of it has to do with what happened. That was just part of the cover up. And if you've seen the evidence that they have, let me know, or take that from your brain and check out the actual evidence, photos they have and the things, and then tell me how you feel.
Theology. And that would be very encouraging to us if they've done that. This new technology, it's been around for 3 or 4 years, is really truly an investigative tool that allows police to investigate and look for the killer. The CODIS federal database of DNA it's been around for 30 years. It's frankly a little obsolete, in my opinion. So
you know why? You got to have a criminal. And as we know from the Golden State Killer, that guy wasn't a criminal. He was a cop. And so he was caught through genetic genealogy because he wasn't in CODIS, but he was in the family tree of all those folks who've tested their DNA. John, I say it.
And now, speaking of tested DNA, so that was that's a good question to ask. Now, life insurance, I didn't even know that they took a policy, and it's not 100%. It's not 100%. I can't find like an actual policy. Lori, good to see you. 4 p.m., my friend. Now listen, talking about the DNA and asking me when Burke was cleared. Now, law enforcement did not clear Burke Ramsey through a single publicized DNA test of him. It was on a specific date. Instead, he was ruled out over time as part of a broader forensic and investigative work. The key milestones in this case are from 1996 to 1997, the initial interviews and evaluations, and then in 2003, the development of an unknown male DNA profile, and in 2008, the DA's formal statement clearing the family. So it led from 1996 up to 2008 when they were formally cleared. And I hope that helps you guys. I hope that what we're doing is is helping this case and getting more exposure, because that's what we're here for. All I want for Christmas is a Christmas ornament from Jay. Not into Christmas this year, but making Mexican street corn lasagna, carne adoba, and green chili cheese. Well, thank you for being here. Let's try to get you that ornament, all right? All right, you would get a much higher return if you just put money onto a good savings program for the children when they're older. Yes, agree. They have many more life insurance policies now that you can take out for children, guys, where it's you take it out, but it also goes towards their college fund. So you pay into it and you hope that they're healthy and you die before your children do, and then they can go to college. I don't have that. I have a college fund for for baby guilty, but again, it all's changed since way back when.
Every year, I'm going to say it again. I pray for you. I pray for you and Jan that you will get resolution. You will get justice.
If you're not aware, I put lies into 3 buckets, and they're all based on the testimony oath. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So you have lies of commission when someone fabricates something whole cloth. You have lies of omission when someone tells the truth but leaves out key details. And you have the most advanced type of lie, information treatment, when someone tells the literal truth but in a way that makes it misleading. I've put the card for my deception deck on your screen now if you want to read the full rule, but the reason I'm pointing it out is because that seems to be what Ashley Banfield was just doing when she was pointing out how there's this multiple instances of the same DNA on JonBenet. Well, allow me to clue you in on something.
All right, before we do that, I want to look at the spotting lies. You guys already know. No, I'm not being paid to say this, but the deception deck, guys, if you're a creator, or even if you're not, this deck is just, it's a tremendous help to spot lies and manipulation, even in your real life. So even though he's not reading, I'm going to tell you the spotting common lies. I'll just read it quickly. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. A testimony oath. When evaluating statements for deception, consider 3 components of the testimony. Okay, testimony oath. Commission. This involves bold-faced lies of commission, where an individual outright contradicts the oath's pledge to tell the truth, all right, through direct falsehood. So they never lie. They just don't talk about it. They won't use that sentence, right? They just use falsehoods to explain how they didn't do it. And then omission. Here lies omission. The subject tells part of the truth, but intentionally omits incriminating or crucial information, not adhering to the whole truth. Jen Soto, easy to spot. Distortion. The final method involves information treatment. The truth is presented, but it's warped with an additional language such as exclusion, qualifiers, or a passive tone, deviating from nothing but the truth. And that's what I was hearing when John was talking. All right, let's keep going.
Lots of bodies have multiple instances of DNA. It doesn't mean that the owner of that DNA is a murderer. Check my JonBenet Ramsey playlist on the end card if you want to see me point out more red flags, plot holes, and contradictions in the Ramsey story. If you want more like this,
thank you so much, Chris Cutie, for the $1 super chat. All right, we love DD2. Sticks with the women's intuition and never lies. We're not done, but let's wrap this one up.
Let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
Stay true, my friends. Stay true. All right, what do we got next? I see you guys very active in chat, and I love it. I love being able to discuss these things, these new cases, the old cases with you, because your input is valuable. All right, so this is the author of the JonBenet Ramsey, and they pulled down the video that had it cut, so I found it for you. We're going to talk about the theory behind who killed JonBenet Ramsey from the author that wrote the book with lots and lots of evidence. I don't know why comments are frozen. I have no idea. Carly, what's up? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. And that's a good assumption. Maybe it was pre-written, but still, how did they pre-write that? And at the same time, had they pre-write it from a pad that was in the house? Tell me that. How could you possibly pre-plan that? All right. Anyway, this was a Nick Reiner, and then they jumped into the theory of the person writing the book. And this came out this actually came out this morning. It came out last night, and they clipped it, and then I had to find it again. So let's talk about that right now. The biggest theory that we have is possibly Burke doing that to his sister, possibly, and then the parents helping cover. But what does this person have to say about it?
6-year-old died is joining me live on the show.
This case remains a top priority for our department. This past year, our detectives have conducted several new interviews, as well as re-interviewed individuals based on tips that we've received. We've also collected new evidence and tested and retested other.
Yeah, man, you think about JonBenet every time you eat a pineapple. Now, listen, Merry Christmas, Moose. They're going to, at some point, have either degradation of the evidence, if that's not already happened, or no more evidence to test. All right, there's a certain amount of evidence. And if they mishandled it incorrectly, we just may never know. You say you think Patsy wrote it. Flair for the dramatic. She was very dramatic. Although they did try to say that it was the same kind of wording that she uses. They evaluated that. And many people believe that it was from Patsy. But then still, we don't know what happened. She's not going to write a ransom note for some random stranger.
Pieces of evidence to generate new leads. And I urge those responsible for this murder to contact us.
It is the season for true crime. Each morning, we'll dive into a case that took place around the holidays. Join us for the 12 days of.
I didn't mean to do that. I was getting something else for y'all.
Of Chadbourne Avenue.
Oh, this is not.
Let's start with you, please. So he's going to.
They jumped there and they took my other video down. Dang it. All right, hold on. I got something for you real quick. I have other things to show you. I'm going to put this up real quick, and this is talking about Chesapeake Duo aim to solve. Let me put this up so I can find that video again. Dang it, they pulled it down. All right, one second.
Profile murder mysteries in modern history. Who killed JonBenet Ramsey? The 6-year-old child model was found dead in the basement of her Colorado home the day after Christmas, 1996. The case has haunted investigators for nearly 30 years now. Now, Andy Fox shows us how the murder is getting some attention here in Hampton Roads. Andy?
Yeah, it sure is. The Chesapeake Private Eyes met John Ramsey while providing him personal security at a conference. They became friends, and John Ramsey also enjoyed reading Patrick Collis's book, Send Me. The Private Eyes then told Ramsey, "We'd like to help," and Ramsey accepted the offer.
Oh, good.